NFT NYC came and went. I'm tired, a little bit hungover, but I can't wait to share with you everything that happened.
It's been one huge week of NFTs taking over NYC. From Madonna, Lil Wayne to anyone and everyone. Here's what you need to know about the hottest week in NFTs. Welcome to Goats and the Metaverse, Stanley. I'm tired with you. It's been one hell of a week. Tell me, what was the highlight of your week? What did you think?
Oh man. Well, I bought an NFT NYC ticket. I never made it. Never made it to the panel, never made it to check-in. I believe just going to a bunch of different events and meeting a bunch of interesting people who are passionate about Web3, passionate about crypto. ApeFest was amazing. Got a chance to meet G-Funk from Pixelvault at the Pixelvault lunch. That was pretty cool. Got a chance to go to a gala where I wore a tuxedo and my Bored Apes.
Too fancy.
That was very, very cool. It was for charity and they raised, I believe, like 10, 15, $20 million, maybe more. I don't even know what the number was. But there was a lot of heavy hitters in the room. New York City Mayor Eric Adams was there. Leonardo DiCaprio was in the building as well. Sam from FTX, Ivan from MoonPay. Got a chance to meet Farouk. A lot of very cool people, and everybody was talking about Web3. Shout out to my buddy Roy Nahum, who put on the event and is releasing a crazy project. His physical painting last night sold for $350,000 in a live auction, which is a real deal number. Shout out to him, and keep an eye out for Megamoon, because what he's working on right now is going to be crazy. What about you, Yossi? What about you?
It's been a busy week as well. I attended the NFT 100 Gala dinner. That is a attempt to showcase the change makers, the taste makers, and all the people involved in the NFT community. What I like about it, it's unranked. You're either part of the list or you're not part of the list, but there's no like number one to number 100. Really incredible audience and group in that room. We had everyone, some of the same people that you just mentioned. We had everyone from Farouk to Seneca, to some artists like Andre Oshia. Beeple was in the house, and Brian Brinkman, BT, all the kind of names that you hear of, people creating NFTs were there to celebrate the day, and floor price really didn't seem to matter. One thing that I did not hear the entire week was the mention of floor prices. Everyone really enjoying seeing each other, being in the community, and working on their projects, trying to build their communities and their audiences, throwing some great parties. And I too did not go to NFT NYC, the event itself, the conference, because there was just too many other things happening all and around New York City. Some huge productions from Cool Cats, Cooltopia, the Doodles World, and I went to the Azuki Enter the Garden event, and I must say I was blown away.
Blown away. I want to hear all.
Blown away. Azuki event was at the Chelsea Piers, which is basically a big warehouse that they transformed into the lore of Azuki. It felt like you were stepping into a different time and a different world. I entered into the alley and was taken and transported into a Asian alley with all the type of merch and all the type of street vendors and food and smells and sounds of what it would be like if I had been, miraculously transported to somewhere like Japan. That was pretty cool and must have been one hell of an expense from the Azuki team. They also had some huge headline acts that were there, a couple of secret rooms that if you were following along in some of the lore that they were releasing on Twitter, as well as seeing some of the hints in the actual room itself, you could find yourself into a secret whiskey bar and drink some pretty fine whiskey on the night, all in an attempt, I think, to elevate the Azuki brand, to show them as the ability to create themselves as a street brand. another big announcement was that the entire team doxed themselves. So they all came out and publicly announced who they are, no longer being Zagabond. Zagabond, we now know, is Ted Chemo, tedchemo.eth, and he was there and he gave a bit of a speech, and the rest of the team were there as well. So Azuki really working to try and elevate themselves from their previous controversy and show that they are the real deal and that they know how to create this type of brand and experience that they are wanting to put together. Contrast that to Bored Ape, where I was on the first night on Monday night. Big production, big festival. For me, no soul. Azuki managed to do what Bored Ape was not able to do and really bring you into their world. So hats out to the Azuki team. Still, for you may say, well, that's not enough. I'm not going to go into this project when I know of its previous history. Or you may say, well, if that's what they're able to do, it honestly felt like I was in the hottest club in New York City, where anyone and everyone wanted to be. If they're able to make that kind of pull, maybe there's a brand there that is going to be built in an IP and a story that is worth backing.
Yeah. And I mean, I think the greatest part about this whole week was meeting people, right? And how open everybody was to have a conversation and meet. And I think on Twitter, everybody has a name. Like in real life, everybody was like, hey, my name is John. My name is Tom. Right? My name is I think people are kind of putting that facade a little bit. And it was good to, even though they might not be doxxed on social media, they were willing to dox themselves in real life. And I thought that was kind of the most interesting part. But also, a lot of people who are not necessarily in the crypto space or who are not necessarily in Web3, but want to be, right? And are curious about it. I had a lot of conversations in the last 3 days of people who are excited about the space, people that got invited to ApeFest and don't own, I don't even know if they own crypto, right? And they definitely don't own any NFTs, but they were able to experience that. And I think that's probably the biggest win for NFT NYC and all these different events, because now you're exposing new people who might become part of the club, right? I had a conversation last night. It doesn't make sense to buy a Bored Ape, right? What is the value of it long term, and how is it going to help from a brand building perspective and tying it to personal brands and things like that to somebody that I don't even think owned Ethereum. So that to me was very, very exciting. And I do gotta say, I was at Casa Cipriani last night, which was a rock throw to ApeFest, and there was a lot of FOMO in the room of those people, some of the people that wanted to be there for Snoop Dogg and Eminem. Night 4, ApeFest did kill it. Lil Wayne, Eminem, Snoop Dogg. Those are some big, big, big acts. We talked about it on the previous show. If you haven't seen it, check it out right there. They should have compacted it into 1 or 2 nights and just went big right away. And I think that would have helped their brand a little bit more and helped the events. But yeah, because now, you went on night 1, I went on night 2, but we didn't go on night 4, right? And that was kind of like, that seemed to be the night that you wanted to be there.
You had to compete with Madonna at the World of Women event. You had Eminem and Snoop Dogg and Lil Wayne at the Bored Ape Yacht Club event. You had a series of performers at Azuki. And if you're a smaller brand, you must be wondering, well, how the hell do you compete? Like, what do you do so that people will be excited about your community? We saw the goblins, running around town with the McGoblin burger truck. And wherever you went, there were lines, there were queues. Didn't matter who you were, what NFT you held. I was the organizer of some of the events and I had to stand in the line myself. There were lines all over the place. And what I thought was pretty clever is the McGoblin burgers, or the goblins would come up and almost harass people in the lines, making fun of them in their little goblin outfits and noises, and brought attention to themselves by kind of being the renegades or the little trolls of NFT NYC, coming to everyone and trolling them, and got a lot of social out of that, and a lot of people talking about them on a pretty kind of low cost budget type of way of bringing themselves. We also saw Atom Bomb Squad launch a protest. At the anti-MetaMaskers came out, and did the protest on the streets, and that got a lot of attention. So just great to see the creativity of everyone trying to bring their communities in, be part of this crazy world of NFTs, tell their stories, talk about the technology, talk about the art across the board. And like you said, no one really talking about the speakers at the conference, because I don't know how many people actually went to the conference. So the side events were the flavor of the day. Very different to VCon, where everyone was in one place at VCon.
Yeah, and I think two things. One, I think that's going to help VCon next year, right? I think VCon might get that reputation of like, hey, you're getting everybody in that room, and it's like you're going there for that one experience. And I think NFT NYC is going to continue down this path of like, who could have the craziest party, who could have the craziest experience. And shout out to my man Yossi for putting on putting on a pretty cool event at Sleep No More. And you know, I guess I got to do my own research. We say DYOR. I got invited to the event. I showed up. I had no idea what I was walking into. I thought I'm there to have a drink and hang out with a few different people and meet people. And we ended up walking into an immersive show, which was a hotel that was like haunted, and there was all these crazy things going on, and you had to wear a mask, and there was all these rooms, and there was alcohol, and you couldn't have a phone. It was definitely interesting. It was definitely interesting. You know, the one thing I'll say is I couldn't take out my phone and take a selfie of me saying I'm at that event, which probably hurt the social cloud of it, but it was definitely a memorable experience, and I definitely came home, told my wife about it, told my friends about it, and it's definitely something that I thought was very, very cool. Well done by you and the team, and that I think that's that's experiences. And there was a few people from the few watchers of the show that were there. Shout out to you guys. Some people came up and said hello, which was very nice to meet fans in real life. And you know, I think that's what it's all about, right? It's all of us being a part of a community, meeting each other, and even you and I having an opportunity to hang out. And you know, we obviously are friends, and we talk every single day, and we do the show. But you know, we don't see each other as much
FaceTime
as we would like to. Yes, definitely good FaceTime.
Yeah, so well, thank you for that, and thank you for coming to support, and to all of the people watching the show who were there at the Sleep No More event. It was great to meet the community. Some of you were freaked out, some of you were inspired at the end of Sleep No More, and that's the type of experience we wanted to create, where in the metaverse anything can happen, and you choose your own adventure.
Absolutely.
Well,
we want to hear from you, the viewers. What was your favorite NFT NYC event, moment, speaker, whatever it might be? Comment below. You never know. Maybe we'll take those comments and do something fun with them. Immersive. We hope you guys enjoyed the show. We enjoyed NFT NYC. I think both of us need some sleep, but we'll be back next week. We're definitely working on some fun stuff for you guys, and bringing in some awesome guests who could help provide as much value and alpha to you guys as possible. So everybody have a good weekend, and we'll see y'all next week.